In the country where it had all begun, the Communist Party still held power. But Gorbachev's reforms had shaken the old certainties. Loyal party members at Moscow's first ball-bearing factory were bewildered by the changes, at home and abroad.
I felt the ground slipping from under my feet. I cried tears of despair. How could this be happening? Maybe we communists did make mistakes. I'll even agree to that. But did they need to ruin everything? Not like that. It was our history.
A cartoon of the time told how destructive communism had been in the past, and how Gorbachev's attempts to reform the system had just brought disasters, economic breakdown, and civil war.
Заявляем, чрезвычайное положение в отдельных местностях СССР на срок 6 месяцев.
With Gorbachev threatening everything they believed in, communist hardliners in the army and the KGB mounted a preemptive strike. Gorbachev was held prisoner as they sought to reimpose the old order. Sergei Evdokimov led the tank brigade sent to the Russian parliament.
We saw people standing at bus stops, going to work. Their reaction varied. Some cried, some waved, some prayed. We had no idea what was going on, only that the commander had ordered us to Moscow.
But the leaders of the coup had miscalculated. One of a new breed of radical politicians, Boris Yeltsin, called on the people to fight back.
Имеем дело с правым реакционным антиконституционным переворотом.
The White House, where Yeltsin presided over the Russian parliament, became the center of resistance.
I realized I had to do something. All those new freedoms were at risk. We wouldn't be able to travel. Once again, we'd be behind an iron curtain. They wanted to break me again. But once you've tasted freedom, you can't do without it.
People began telling us what was going on, agitating, threatening us, crying and asking the soldiers, "Have you come to kill us?"
The troops were uncertain what to do. Major Evdokimov, filmed on his tank, was contacted by Yeltsin's deputy.
He said, "The people who sent you are criminals." Then he asked, "Will you help us?" That was his key phrase. I knew what he meant. Would we defend Yeltsin's White House? I said, "Yes, I will."
Unwilling to turn their guns on their own people, the young soldiers were the first to disobey their commanders. The coup began to crumble.
"Are you ready to die?" I asked one, and he smiled and said yes. I stroked one, I kissed another. I embraced them as I went along. I began crying. The tears had begun earlier. There's a photo of me.
For 2 nights, the defenders waited for an attack that never came. The hardliners who'd led the coup had failed. And as they were swept away, they took Gorbachev and the whole Communist Party with them. Russia had a new hero in Boris Yeltsin. And for the first time in 70 years, the Russian national flag was unfurled at the Kremlin. All over the Soviet Union, people tore down the symbols of an ideology that had shaped so much of the 20th century. The people were asked to put their faith in new gods, democracy and capitalism.